I call this. I don't know if I'm that. Last time I was like, my see was showing. So yeah, shall we start? Is this like? Do you want to start with? Yeah, with my always damn H6. Salam, bonjour, hello. It's Doll Domination again. With Eshk and Bela and our special guest.
Very special guest.
Very special guest. So our first guest ever. And I hope you all are very nice to her because she's a comedian and rising superstar here in Berlin. So
Community icon.
community icon, period.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course, Avelo. Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to say some words?
I do. Well, I was here late. I arrived late, and I just want to clarify why I was late because I was almost out the door, and then I realized I forgot to do my estrogen shot. So I was like, 5 minutes, I can take that to do my shot. Like, yeah, it will be fine. So that's an excuse. And then for this podcast, for sure. And then as I was doing my estrogen shot, the doorbell rang, and my PRADA dress had been delivered. This dress.
A glamour girl.
Because normally, it's the first time that I've owned a PRADA dress, because normally when I try to order a PRADA dress, it just doesn't work, and the computer just screams like fat, poor, and it's really stressful. So I've never been able to successfully order a PRADA dress.
God looks so good on you.
And then I found this one on Vinted for a really good price, and I think for the first time in PRADA's career, they've made a dress for someone without an eating disorder, which for me is really inspiring because I was struggling with anorexia in the winter. And when I broke like my Ausbildung in anorexia, I was like, wait, I'm never going to wear a PRADA dress. And then I found this dress and I was like, oof, it's the max size. Let's hope. Let's hope it's the max one they offer, it seems, in this dress. And then it arrived and I put it on and I was like, oh my God, it fits perfect. Yeah. Oh my God, it fits perfect. And it's totally okay. Turns out I didn't have to starve myself. It wasn't necessary. Yeah.
Message for the dolls: don't starve yourself.
A message for the dolls: weight cycling is a fucking lie. Don't listen. You got to eat shit to make the hormones work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get those curves.
I thought anorexia would make me look like, I don't know, like, why am I Carly Kloss or something? But it didn't work that way. It's just unhealthy.
But wait, can I?
Yeah, say.
Sorry.
You can always cut in.
Yes.
No, because it does look amazing on you and it very much fits your style. And that's actually something that I wanted to ask you about and to get to know you a bit more. What is your connection to your personal sense of fashion? How do you choose the pieces that you wear? Because I think we live in a day and age where there's a very specific image on how to look like as a trans woman. And I feel like you stand out in that image and you have your very unique sense of style. And that's something that I think it's very coherent throughout everything you do. And I'm wondering, how did you find that very specific fashion that you are embodying today?
Well, I feel like 6 months ago, I went through a really difficult personal time and my heart was sort of broken. And I think that was when, because I had always been interested, I chose the name Marlena. That's my stage name is Avelo, but my, how do you say that? Civilian name. It sounds so weird in English.
Government name?
Yeah, my government name is Marlena, which I've been always fascinated by, like the 1920s Berlin history. And so I took that name from Marlene Dietrich. And
Icon.
And I think then for a few years after that, a few months later, I found out that my hair just grows like this, like with the waves. And I was like, oh, I chose the right name. Like, this is her, like, thing. And then I dressed myself like a grandma for like 3.5 years. And then I had my heart broken like 6 months ago, or I went through this difficult time. And then when that happened, I somehow just left puberty. I just started dressing for my body more instead of wearing like potato sacks as dresses and stuff like that. And I just learned a lot about fashion and I became incredibly inspired and incredibly interested in fashion. And I think I just felt much more confident in myself as a woman. But to answer your question, specifically, I think my all-time diva is Candy Darling. Do you know?
I actually don't.
She was a trans woman in the late 60s, early 70s New York who was most known for her work in like Andy Warhol's circle of people. She was in some of his movies. Lou Reed wrote some songs about her. for the Velvet Underground and his own music. She was like a trans woman from Long Island, New York, like outside of New York City, who grew up in like a really alcoholic, abusive household. And she, for some reason, she was just always drawn to being a woman. And not only that, but she like lived her life like she was a 1940s movie star.
Oh, period.
Like she always spoke like this, and she always was very delicate with her voice. And like in this way that's like, real people don't talk like that. Like this is, you watched a lot of movies growing up, and she did. That's where she got that. And she lived her entire life like she was a movie star. She always looked like one. I was reading her biography, and there was a woman, like there was someone talking about how she used to harass her old roommate, who was a cis woman, to like serve more cunt. Like if they were gonna make the effort to go outside, like even if they were just getting groceries, she would wear like a fur coat and like, and she was, yeah. And she was just always at it. And I think that just inspired me so much because she lived her life like a work of art.
Period.
And I find that so inspiring. And ever since I like felt like genuinely confident in myself, and I started to feel like what it feels like to dress confidently, dress for my body, I think the hormones also have been working and stuff like that. And once I started seeing that, it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to spend another fucking second of my life not feeling good about myself. Like even if I'm not like always 100% serving, I want my like daytime serving to still be cunt.
Exactly.
And that's like, and it's like, yeah, I just want to make sure that if I'm ever walking to Lidl and I get like a heart attack on the way to Lidl, I'm not misgendered at the hospital. That's how I want to live my life.
I feel like this is such a beautiful.
So much respect.
This is so beautiful. Like
When I go into the Lidl, I look like
because at the end of the day, like that's also a part that I realized is when I became myself, when I've stepped into myself, giving myself a new name, transitioning in the way that I define my transition, I become a concept more and more. And that concept is what feels good to me, right? You experiment with stuff, you try out new stuff. You put I put on a little mini skirt first, a little bra. Like shout out to my 2 dolls who dressed me. You know who you are. And it's like these little things that make you wonder. Okay, well this fits you, and this fits, and then suddenly I become this sort of cartoon character that I've always wanted to become.
Yeah.
And then it feels so comfortable. You don't have to try or perform because that's what you are, because it feels good. And that's exactly what queerness is to me, is trying out things. If it's about your personality, if it's about clothes, if it's about, I don't know, even friend circles or hobbies, things will stick to you and then they become you. And that's exactly how you blossom and flourish in a world that tries to put you in a corner. And yeah, that's exactly what queerness is. That's how queer fashion exists, because you radically choose what you want. It's just giving me all the chills. I love it.
I think it's great. And I also like, I did music my entire life until I was 30. And then I accidentally went viral on TikTok for German language comedy. And by doing that, I sort of discovered like this side of myself that I guess I had always practiced in private, like being funny with friends and telling stories and stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, that's my career now. And it showed me like, oh, this thing about myself that I didn't really think was that unique is actually the most unique thing about me.
Period.
And I feel like that also relates to transness, because once I've started to own that, I think for a while, because I didn't have like the fashion or like the physical confidence to match this sort of confident voice I had, there was always a sort of dissonance where I was like hanging out with like really prominent rappers in Germany and feeling just like a clown.
Mm.
And then when this like weird glow up thing that I went through the past 6 months happened, and I felt like I really had to like build my own self-confidence and be my best support system. Mm-hmm. That was when it was like, oh, I feel like I'm really owning this for the first time in my life.
Love this.
Yeah.
Do you feel like social media helped you in a way, or was it more of a hindrance? Because I feel like sometimes when I put my genderqueer body out there, I'll open myself up to every version of what people think of me.
Yeah.
So it can become a sort of like a battle against society's expectations of what my body should look like, or not the traumas that I'm still fighting. But also at the same time, I feel like social media helped me also connect with people and see other people who have similar bodies as mine, and like empower me and give me the compliments. So I feel like social media, internet, as a queer person, as a trans person, is fire and sugar in a way, right? Like, I don't know, how is it for you?
I've been sort of active on the internet for as long as I can remember. And I think even when I started making like content on the internet, like before I started with comedy, I think I'm subjected to a lot of transphobia. The internet can be very cruel to queer people. And I think I also experienced a lot of hate. And I also, back when I was doing like music and stuff, I generally was very nice on the internet. And that's not good for trans people, unfortunately, because people get off on ridiculing you, and the algorithms make money when people give engagement. And so I had like periods in my life where like I could get a video or something that would have 1 million views, but it would only be shown to people who want to kill me. And that was like really degrading. So then when this comedy thing started, something that I noticed that changed was that I no longer felt it was suddenly serving my videos to people who don't want to kill me, which was really shocking. And it was really refreshing, and I really enjoyed it. But then after that came the other aspect of that, which is that, okay, when you're also a queer person on the internet, you said that like people will see like all these different versions of you. I get that so much with like parasocial relationships and stuff, where like people will think, oh, Marlene is a trans woman, therefore she agrees, she thinks this, and this politically. And then they'll find out like I'm not vegan, or they'll find out that like I'm not, I don't know, I don't agree with all the things they agree with. And then they'll like take it as like a personal offense against them. And then, I don't know, I try to live my life with what I call just like radical honesty. I present myself fully. And people don't have to like it, but I'm not doing it for those people.
And that's why you're here at Doll Domination, because this is exactly what this podcast is all about. This is what we're all about, is like dolls opening up their mouth, opening up their existence, and stop caring what other people like say or do, because people are gonna put us in a box anyway. So like there's no point in me justifying my existence or what I do or what I say or what I believe in, because you have your preconceived opinion about who I am already. I made this post today on Instagram, which was all about what trans liberation is. And my first sentence when I thought about this concept was like, trans liberation is me choosing myself first. Because what is transness? Transness is the radical expression of what you are and transition beyond what this society has put on us, right?
Yeah.
So radical honesty, the concept that you just said, is exactly what we're supposed to be as a liberated trans person, right? Like what we should follow, because our bodies are already like villainized, and just like you see in politics, we're gonna get demonized more and more and more. So I'm not gonna hide I'm not gonna hide myself anymore. I'm gonna show exactly what I am and who we are, and we're gonna fight it. I think that's like it's so beautiful to stop the people pleasing, to stop the what's it called, adhering to standards and following what other people think of you. Because at the end of the day, also me coming from a marginalized background of Afghanistan, how women in Afghanistan are being treated, I always have that in mind of like, they don't care about anyone. They only care about their own political agenda. So the best thing that we can do as an act of resistance is authentically show ourselves the way we are. And that's how we push freedom and liberation. So
beautifully said. Yeah.
That's what I truly believe in.
I feel like for a few years, something that really changed my perspective on transition and being queer, well, a few things did, but one of the things that had the most effect on me was like 2 years ago, I did an opera in Berlin with Susan Stryker, this trans historian and thinker from San Francisco. And I was very insecure in that time. I think I watched too many like Candy Darling things. I took her way too seriously because she was like beautiful and I find her inspiring, but she also seemed to struggle a lot with self-hatred, and she seemed to have a very strict way of viewing the world and herself. And I think I internalized that too much, and I became just so dysphoric and so like shameful of being trans. And Susan Stryker said something to me very interesting, was that she was talking about how trans isn't about, it has nothing to do with suffering. People, it's often framed in society as suffering, or we're forced to define it by suffering in order to gain access to medication and like social transition and stuff like that, bureaucratic transition. And she was saying it's actually just she said it's a practice of freedom fueled by desire. The only thing that makes you trans is whether you want something different than what you have.
Yeah.
And when she said that, I was like, oh, tea. Because I was like, yeah, exactly. Like that had such a profound effect on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And I think it's so true that when, for such a long time, when you hear about trans people, is them either being the hero or the villain, right? Or the victim. That's the only way how we saw trans people. And I think for me also growing up, that was the only way you would ever hear about trans existence. So that also makes you not want to transition. Because you think, in my mind, I was like, yeah, you will live a miserable life because you're not gonna be like Baron Cox, you know, like you're not gonna be able to get there. So the only other option is to be some sad junkie in the corner. Like that was my image that I had, and so I never thought it would be desirable way of life to transition. And then I think now what I am so excited to see also with the internet is that you just see trans people from all forms and walks of life just being themselves, and is not, obviously there are certain normativities and there are certain ideals on how to be trans, and there is the whole issue around passing, which maybe we can also talk about. But I do see more and more people just embracing all different elements of being trans, and that this can be across all like jobs, it can be across countries, it can be across identities, bodies, and this is something that I think the internet is really, really amazing for, that you just really find your niche, you find your people, you find that there are actually these, I don't know, trans girls that love to game. And for example, yeah.
Oh, sure.
I'm sorry, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I have one thing to add. And I think it's so beautiful that you mentioned this with the, that you, in the past, we saw people, or like trans people, only as struggling or as villains or as victims. And right now we can decide the narrative of where transness go. So, and especially me as a gender non-conforming trans person, non-binary, whatever you want to call me, there is no recipe I'm following. But one thing that I'm seeing over and over again that works so beautifully and that connects me to transness and trans community is that we on the internet, or just in community in general, have the ability to tell our stories and our vulnerabilities, that we're not invincible. Like, yes, I have been harassed before, and I have struggled before, and I have had mental health issues, and I'm still struggling, but there's so much beauty and hope that I have within me right now. Just like sitting with you both here, it makes me so like empowered. And I don't know where I'm going like in 5 years, but I know that I have a future and I'm choosing it myself. Because right now I feel so strengthened by the fact that I know that these vulnerabilities, that these pains that we have to go through because society is not fair to us, but we have the ability to create still softness and vulnerability and healing during these harsh times. And this is so beautiful to me, and that's why I always say, find queer community, find trans community. Those people will literally save your life.
I think I want to show you a photo on my phone, so let me just get that out, because I think I was just gonna say, with regards to like being yourself and regards to fashion stuff like that, I know I'm saying this in a Prada dress, but I saw a Prada dress I found for €150, which, if you know these dresses, it's like a really expensive dress that I found for cheap as a splurge. But like, for example, this photo of mine, this is a €4 dress that I got in Cologne recently. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was like, that's what sort of inspired my like fashion journey, was to see that like, oh, like having this aesthetic that I've always found so inspiring with like Candy Darling, or like Audrey Hepburn is another huge one for me. It's just about knowing your body, knowing who you are. Yeah. And it doesn't have to, it's more within reach than I thought it was, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I found like a pair of Chanel glasses for like €30 on eBay Kleinanzeigen. And that's what really started this whole thing for me, because I was like, oh, wow, I thought this would be like much more expensive. Mm-hmm. And I guess these types of things are, but when you have like the idea to like curate your own aesthetic, then you have the power to change your life. Yeah, and was it RuPaul who said like change your hair and you change your mood or something? I feel like that's really powerful. And with transness, like we really do. I was a very masculine man. Like I was like a gay bear. And it took me so long to go away from that. Yeah, it took me so long to get away from that because I didn't know it was possible. But now it's like, oh, this is all possible. And when it's possible, then it's like, okay, then the only thing that makes it like cunt is whether or not you think it's cunt. And that's how like I feel just as confident in that €4 dress as I feel in this Prada dress or whatever. And how it's part of the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
And so once I developed like that eye, then it's like I can go into a thrift store and find cunty things for almost no money.
Yes.
And that's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that also beyond brands you can curate your own style and your own unique sense of how you want to express yourself, because I think for a long time we were like so obsessed with like the brands, and I mean there is this movement that everybody just want to look the same, right? There is a certain aesthetic that is trending, especially also now what we see on the internet. There's one thing works really well and then all of a sudden everybody looks like that 2 months later, and I think it's so inspiring and it's so refreshing when we see people that find what fits to them and then create their own brand around that. And I think you see that from the outside, and it's very, you radiate, like it radiates uniqueness, it radiates what else does it radiate?
Buoyance. I don't know, like I love like a doll who doesn't make herself small, who just shows what she has, who she is. And look, I've always been very, expressive and flamboyant, but I've never had the true inner confidence to back it up like that. But now that I do, it feels so refreshing to actually express it and not have any doubts about yourself. So when I see that when anybody else, I get inspired. Because prior, when I was like younger, I always got jealous or like a bit, insecure when I saw a strong feminine presence. Like and some sort of envy and some sort of like, well, I want that, but I don't know why. And now when I'm like around you both, like, it's just pure.
The cat escaped.
The cat escaped.
We'll just say that, yeah.
It is just pure inspiration, and that's what I love. So if you're out there and if you see us shining and radiating and you don't know if you can do it, put it on, fake it until you make it. I feel like this is also like a good thing to say to young dolls, like fake it till you make it, try things out, like get inspired, be experimental, and honestly, especially when you're on the streets or in the club or in public spaces, hold your own, because honey, that will give you so much confidence if you know that you just did it.
And I do feel like in a lot of online trans spaces, there is a sort of doomerism about it, where a lot of people get really obsessed with passing and stuff, which isn't, I don't know. I think it's fine if you value that to value that. But I think there is this sort of like, I do see online a lot of like thinking like, I'll never be feminine enough or stuff like that. And I think my general, like, this was me pre-transition. I'll send you this photo.
Wow.
Oh,
this is me a few years ago. So I think that was part of the reason why it took so long for me to like do this, because I didn't know that would ever be possible for me, because I wasn't like a twink. And but I do think that really it is so much more, you are capable of so much more than you think. And I think it's also such a blessing to have the confidence to express who you are, but also and appreciate how you're so different than how you were before, and also have the humility to accept that you might continue to change. You might say things that you later regret. You might do things that you might wear things that you later regret. You might, it's okay. And that's, I guess it ties into like fashion and social media and honesty.
Is always, does transition ever end? Because I feel like a lot of even cis people who see themselves as cis, everyone is transitioning in a way. We're all evolving. And if you stop evolving, if you don't have any ambition to evolve as a human being, honey, then we have a problem, because change and acceptance and just like the fluidity of the human experience is a thing that we as humanity should accept. We're not rigid beings that are meant to be kept like in one job, in one like form. Go experimental, try out new things, and this is beyond being trans or non-binary or gay or queer, whatever. Just like, this is my message to the world. Like, give yourself a shot at the things that might work for you, because this is where true confidence is also born. In courage and also in gratefulness. That's what I've learned. Being grateful for the things I've done, being proud of myself, even if it didn't go well. Like, sometimes I wore shit or like did some crazy things. I said mostly crazy things because I am a loudmouth. And I'm a bit embarrassed about these things, but I'm not like, I don't hate myself for these things, because honestly, I forgive myself. I was a young child. I did some crazy things. I had some crazy fights. But the radical acceptance and honesty towards myself, towards, you know what, I'm living this life for the first time, just like everybody else. So why not forgive myself? Why not try to learn from it? And let's go, next step, next thing. Let's try out the new thing. And that works maybe better. And I get it, on social media and stuff, it's a bit difficult because there's this digital footprint. But honestly, you know what? I don't give a fuck.
Oh, but fuck a digital
Exactly.
footprint. I mean, it's okay. If I say something that I regret saying in a year from now, who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
Whatever. And I've stopped caring about the types of people who would like think that if you say sorry for something, you're constantly doomed forever. I grew up very religious, and it's like at some point I just realized, like, I'm not, like, I don't believe in hell. Also with social justice. And I think the people I value are the people who are like genuinely interested in accountability and don't participate in this like circus of digital footprint or whatever. So yeah. Do you know?
Sorry.
I also want to say, do you know Lyra Pramik?
Yeah.
Amazing composer, vocalist, a huge part of Berlin. Like 10 years ago, I saw a show of hers. I'm like vaguely acquainted with her. She went to the same school I went to in the US. And I saw a show of hers like 11 years ago in 2015. It was after she had come out as trans. And I remember asking her after the show, this is when I was still a gay man. I asked her, what are you transitioning to? I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said that. But the way she reacted really stuck with me. She was like, Jake, that was my name at the time. She was like, Jake, life's a transition. Mm-hmm. That was such an elegant way to respond to that. And that stuck with me as well.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, energies are not being destroyed or created. Everything is a transitioning process. Like, you cannot destroy energy. This is how I see love, for example. Like, everything is it's a transformative process. But what we can do as a person, we can give direction by the choices we do, right? I'm getting very philosophical right now. But like, every second I'm living, I have the choice to take control of the energies that I'm holding and that are flowing around me. So I can choose where I'm transitioning to, and you can too. And this is how I see life.
Yeah.
Everything is a transition process. Everything is transforming. Everything is transforming. Literally everything. And by the decisions we make, we can give those transformative processes our direction, our impulses. And that gives me so much, I don't know the English word for it, Selbstwirksamkeit. How do you really translate it? The power to...
Self-actualization?
Yeah, self-actualization.
Self-actualize or something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Intention and purpose. It gives me fucking purpose. To know that there's so much shit going on in the world. I see it, I feel it, and every second I live in this world, I can choose to do something against it, or inform myself, or like put myself out there in no matter how it looks like, even if it's just you getting through the day, you know? And that is just like, that makes me feel so powerful. It makes me feel so wanted and needed in this fucking society. So yeah, well, nice philosophy. Trans philosophy.
So we're getting Haxia jokes, and now we're in philosophy.
You know, but at the end of the day, it always breaks down to that.
Yeah.
This is such a lesbian talk tonight. No, like, when it comes to philosophies, I feel like as trans people, and also not only philosophy, but like just in general, anthropology, community building, trans people have so much to give, because in order to become a fully experienced, fully fulfilling trans person, you have to flip the whole world upside down. 180 degrees to understand who you are and how society works, so you can find your place in it. And that's why in community, in society, and let's be honest, in governments, trans people are needed because they have a perspective that nobody else has, because they see society and humans and like human interactions in a way that nobody else does. And this is the reason why in pre-colonial times, indigenous peoples had trans people in special roles in their communities, because they knew exactly what trans people bring to a community, to a city, to a village. So yeah, here's some trans history lessons for you.
Well, I think that's also why people are so scared of us right now, because I think we represent the possibility that they don't want to admit.
Mm-hmm.
And I did sex work when I was like between like 18 and 22 in New York. And when I did that, I met a lot of men who had a completely different life than the one that they actually wanted to live. And it was so heartbreaking for me to see people like that, like genuinely nice people who just got stuck in like a life that wasn't theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like this whole thing about that. It relates to transness, but also just life in general. Like you can really do whatever the fuck you want. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I do think like, yeah. So I do think probably one of the most fulfilling things is finding community and love between yourself and other people. But don't let that dictate like what you do with yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also it's a question of whether you believe in authority or not.
This will be on the test, by the way.
Because I feel like we grow up with so many authority figures in our lives, and we grew up to always obey. And that's like, there's so many things in life, be that our parents, be that our teachers, or be that our gender, be that like the way even you should behave at a kid's birthday. Like there's so many rules and structures, and we are actually not really our own agents. We're just a product of our society. And so many people live that way until they die. And I think that's also why transness is a threat to the world order, literally, because people don't believe in the authority.
We are a threat right now.
And I mean, also just by the fact that trans people are so attacked now, you see that culturally we are winning, and that culturally people are scared of us because we represent a way of how you live without fear of authority, and where you can have this self-assurance by having given that to yourself. Like nobody gave you this, like everything that you are today, you created by yourself, obviously within like the frameworks of where you live, the access you have, the privileges you have, etc. But it is I think it is significant of what people create. Even like transitioning, you already achieve so much more than other people achieve in their whole lifetime, because they never dare to do anything themselves, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Or not that I achieve more than other people. Not that.
I'm just saying that also, like, you don't have to do a gender transition to achieve something in your life. But I feel like so many people go through.
You have to.
Yeah, sorry. I actually disagree with that. I do think that if you don't,
I think so many people just go blindly
when
through
I'm chancellor,
life.
everyone's gonna be forced to transition. You can always detransition.
Yeah, exactly. When
Believe
in
me,
doubt.
if I know anything about detransitioners is that they won't shut the fuck up, and that it's always possible. So you can always detransition if it's not your thing.
Exactly, try it out. It's funny.
Alice Weidel will be happy to have you as her counterpart, the lesbian and the detransition.
But one thing also, like, we are role models. The second you choose to actively transition and be a trans person of authenticity and integrity and just like public life, you become a role model. And that's something I really love to embrace right now. I know for a fact, and I had so much feedback on this, that the authenticity and the radical self-acceptance is inspiring to others, no matter their gender. And for that fact alone, it's so worth it. It's like the most beautiful thing to experience. And that's the reason why we're fucking winning. That's why they're so afraid. And that's why today, the U.S. government has released this counterterrorism program. Did you read it?
I did not.
And it says that radical pro-transgenderism is deemed as an act of terrorism. And
Work.
Period. So you're listening to 3 terrorists right now. Yes, because honey, radical pro-transgenderism, honey. I love it. I live for it. They're so afraid. They're so fucking afraid.
Yeah.
And they better be. They fucking better be. Like, if any of those right-wing politicians or managers or, I don't know, like just patriarchs listen to this right now, be afraid. Be afraid of my face. Be afraid of my sister's faces. Because we're going to burn that shit down. This is a threat.
But if you're the immigration office, the Austin Ambassador, don't be afraid. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I love you so much.
Love you, German government. We love you.
It's okay.
Every other government.
Love authority.
We love authority.
Sorry, just covering my bases.
I'm a good Democrat. I'm known, like, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm very democratic. Like, I believe in the Sozialstaat.
Okay.
Merz.
Slay. No, we don't have to. Don't go there.
No, we said that we want to have him as a guest here at our podcast.
That'd be amazing.
Merz and Vidal. I think it's like we are a very progressive podcast. Let's just say that.
You'd
And
make such a pretty doll.
exactly.
Mats. Yeah. He has the bone structure.
Oh my god.
I feel
Like now I'm gonna have to do a big picture of him and put it through AI and like make him a doll like this and put it like on the screen here.
Here we can work on it, but there's always minoxidil, finasteride. Like there.
And also redefining what trans is. Give it like
get away. Face the doll with the
yes.
with the falling out hair.
Yes, why not? Like this is like we accept every doll. We accept every
for
doll.
sure, for sure.
So yeah, clock that. I love Merz.
Frederica could be.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Or like what other name? Oh okay, I'm not gonna forcefully transition people. Not until you're chancellor.
In non-intellectual stuff. Yeah. That it will be the first thing I do, actually.
Oh my gosh, this got really philosophical and political, and I'm very here for it. And I'm like, I mean, we can wrap it up at this point. Like, I have everything I wanted to hear from you, and you're just an icon. And I think this is exactly what we do this podcast for. I feel like our idea is already in the room because we just started this podcast, and we're just gonna put topics out there that are dear to our heart. And like knowing us, we are just yappers. We'll talk all day, and we love to put things in perspective. But we're also intellectuals. Serving looks and serving politics. And you're exactly the addition that we wanted. Like Hannah, you bring fun, you bring glamour, you bring opinions. And that's exactly what a doll who has influence in the society should be. That's the reason why you're a rising star, and we're here to root for you.
Thank you.
I do have a last question though for you.
Okay.
To wrap it up, what does Avelo's future look like? Where are you going? Do you have a grand plan? Do you have a or are you just like going day to day, whatever comes along, you'll see if you hop on or hop off?
I feel like my greatest talent and my greatest strength and my greatest weakness in life is that I cannot shut the fuck up. And that sometimes it loses me opportunities. I don't really get brand deals because I guess when like Spreekvel, or no, it's Gerolsteiner commented on one of my videos, and they commented something like Slay or whatever, and I replied to them and I said, hey, as a size queen, I just want to say I really appreciate your products, because for people who don't know, Gerolsteiner makes like these water bottles that are really big, like that are very like butt plug adjacent. And so like things like that, I definitely can't. Unfortunately, that does mean that I will lose some opportunities. But at the same time, I do think that I just can't stop it. So I can't really censor myself. Yeah, radical honesty, exactly. And so I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm known as a comedian on TikTok and Instagram. I do live shows. I'm on a tour right now, and of like 41 shows in Germany and Austria. And I have a podcast that's called Duschlampe. And I'm just going to try. I love telling stories, and I love running my mouth. So I'll keep doing it as long as someone allows me to. I'll be there.
Yeah, and we'll be here for it.
You'll become chancellor.
And the chancellor, yeah, obviously.
I'll vote for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's still the only vote. At least you have. No, I'll also vote for you. I'll also vote for you. You'll have to.
Yeah.
My friend,
Already.
maybe the last thing I was in the last, don't, the doll party. It took a sec for me to get that. I was at one of my best friends, or probably my best friend right now, gave birth. And they were in a hospital. They're non-binary. And all of us were there, like their entire like trans family, which I think was like the most trans that this hospital in West Berlin has ever seen, like the most trans people. And we were just sort of terrorizing the cis people, just like talking about how much we hate cis people and stuff like the entire time. And the doctor was in the room, and I said to my friend, "Did you ask the doctor how early you can start with testosterone injections for the baby?"
It is a choice to be cisgender. It is a choice.
Forced transition.
You can always detransition.
You can always detransition. And I just thought that was funny. I don't know what relevance that has. Yes. But I think, hey, just be yourself.
Just be yourself. Even as a baby.
Just be yourself, because no one decides if your life was fun other than you.
Yeah.
You know?
Perfect closing remark.
Thank you so much.
And don't develop an eating disorder, you dumb bitch. Don't read on Reddit. I know what places you're going to. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You don't look cunt. You look malnourished. Sorry, I'm very passionate about that. But okay. Yay! Bye.
Aww.
Yeah.